Good morning. We're going to get started. Welcome to the Caldor Incident Operational Briefing for September 2nd through September 3rd, 0700 to 0700 hours. My name is Gabe Garcia. I'm the Planning Section Chief for Incident Management Team 6. I ask that you please mute your phones, silence your radios, and keep any sidebar conversations down. I want to also remind you that this briefing is streamed on YouTube Live. Just go to the QR code on the front of your IAP. You might want to pass that down to your troops. I'm going to start off with the incident objectives. For the management objectives, provide for emergency personnel and public safety at all times. Ensure COVID-19 precautions and best practices are met at all times. Protect property improvements and infrastructures. Ensure coordinated, timely, and accurate release of public information. Foster and maintain relationships with all cooperators and stakeholders. Protect economic, natural, cultural, and heritage resources. Maintain fiscal accountability and keep costs commensurate with values at risk. Our control objectives for the West Zone: keep the fire north of Highway 4, keep the fire south of Wentworth Springs Road, keep the fire east of E16 and Fiddletown Road. The control objectives for the East Zone: keep the fire south of Mosquito Pass and road systems to N16A, 2N20A, 2N08, and 2N21. Keep the fire north of Highway 88, and keep the fire west of El Dorado and Alpine County and state line boundary. And now, with current situation, night operations.
Good morning. My name is Tim Ernst, Operations Section Chief for CAL FIRE Team 6. Before we start talking about the incident itself, I hope everyone's noticed we've had a significant organizational change on the map here in the last 24 hours. Yesterday, as of 1900 hours, we went ahead and zoned the fire in two separate zones. We have the West Zone and we have the East Zone. So I'll be presenting the night ops report for the West Zone. My partner Craig will be presenting the same for the East side as well. Let's start here in Branch 1. As we move up through Branch 1, everything remains constant in Division Alpha. A lot of hard work going in there, continuing to hit up some cold trailing, just moving a little bit further from the black line. And I would ask everyone that's working in this whole western flank of the fire to continue to do the same. We still are seeing a lot of smokes, 200 feet, 300 feet in. Once this whole full area is repopulated, we know we'll be getting a lot of calls on those, so let's get those knocked out today. This stubborn piece of Division Alpha, which we were able to put line around 2 days ago, continues to present some of those same challenges of hitting smokes. And I have to actually just shout out a thank you to everyone for the hard work that was put in here. With the diligence of 2 weeks of work on this one finger here in Alpha, you saved about 600 or 700 homes, well over 10,000 acres in this pocket here. So that's a lot of good work that you all take credit for. Moving up through the rest of the branch, everything holds real well for us along Sly Park Road throughout the whole way up. Continue to cold trail that piece. As we move up into Branch 10, we had this one pocket of fuel here, right here at the Foxtrot Gulf break. We talked about that yesterday. That pocket has now been, there's a line that goes directly across. We are seeing some of those islands of fuels burn out in there, so do expect to see, you may have a little header coming out of that as we did see yesterday, but that continues to look real good for us. As we move up along the 50 corridor, a lot of great work going on here. This one piece up as we get towards Wrights Lake, we are seeing a lot of structure protection need in there. We have a great structure defense plan going on. Cutting some line, there's about 100 additional homes in there that are being protected, and the defense plan is putting into place for that. As we bump down across the zone to the bottom of the zone here, this area around Kirkwood, that was our #1 priority last night. We were able to use night water dropping helicopters in there, did a lot of great work, especially this one piece where the fire cut right across the 88 there. That's been completely cut out and plumbed in. Hopefully that's going to hold for us. This end of this finger continues to be a problem, and we'll let the other zone speak about that as well. As we come down through the rest of Branch 20, a lot of good work here, continuing to cold trail and mop up a lot of this area. We have not seen any growth at all in this area as well throughout the shift. And then finally, the last piece here in Branch 30 continues to look really good. We're in the backhaul mode there. Occasionally, a smoke is popping up well interior. We're going and searching those out as well. So a lot of great work completed the shift. With that, I'll bring in my partner from the East Zone.
Good morning. My name is Craig Daugherty. I'm doing the night ops for the California Incident Management Team 4. I want to thank you all for setting us up for success. I'll give you a quick rundown of everything that's going on the east side. So a lot of good work, like I said, happened in here on a Highway 50 here. As was mentioned, we've got some pockets of fire that have got across 50 and are underslung on 50. So those crews were in there last night with the hose lays that I think a lot of you put in yesterday or day before. Continued to work in there, mop up, and secure that edge along in there. Coming around, we've got a lot of structures. You know, obviously this is a highly populated area here. This is Christmas Valley. I've got a lot of structure and subdivisions all along here, along this Pioneer Trail where this slop overs occurred. So we had 4 structure groups in there yesterday and continued that through the night last night. Those folks stayed real active in there, picking up hot spots around structures, doing some securing and mopping up, and a lot of good work going on there. As you come up this north flank here of this slop over, we've got dozer line established along a large portion of this. They came in here last night with a combination of dozers and hand crews, and were able to get a lot of good work done going direct. So they've got quite a ways up this north flank there. Fire continued to stay active in here last night. There at Trimmer Peak, we do have a couple of those spot fires that are thrown off out there in front of that. We were able to get some dozers to open up a road to gain some access to this other side here and look at some work in there. Coming down this whole southeast flank, that continued to stay active most of the night, mostly backing every once in a while, quartering up the slope. We did have some crews watching that real close down here at the bottom. Coming on around here on the 88, we had the crews continuing to do some prep in there in preparation for anything that can happen here with this piece that came out of Kirkwood. We do have a piece of dozer line that's checked that up right now, but we are concerned about some spots in there. So just trying to be prepared for any actions that we need to take in there. Again, we want to thank you for setting us up. We want to thank Team 6, Cal Fire Team 6, and the NEMO Team 2 for a good transition and all the help they've given us in getting oriented on this fire, and appreciate all your work.
Up next, weather with our incident meteorologist.
Good morning, everybody. Incident meteorologist Jim Dudley with the weather for today. So we lost the winds aloft. It's a good day today to not have gusty winds up on the ridges. What we are going to have are terrain-driven winds. For those new out here, this piece of ground out here generates its own wind by the sun hitting on it. So today, when you're out working after like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock this morning, we're gonna lose our current downslope, down canyon winds are going to shift around to the west-southwest. Over on the west side of the fire, the gustiest, strongest winds caused by the terrain are along the Highway 50 corridor. As it goes up through the terrain, you get a lot of swirling action, a lot of terrain causing the winds to be quite variable in direction. Up on the top of the fire today, the flow is much, much lighter out of the south-southeast. So you're not going to get the atmosphere trying to increase your terrain winds today. So whatever the ground is generating as the flow goes up slope and through the terrain, that's going to be what you have to look out for with the variation in the directions. It's still dry. Humidities are a little bit better today. Overnight recoveries were better. And I don't expect any really, really low humidities out there today. So the main thing, less ridgeline wind, terrain-driven winds driving this thing, and a little better humidity, but it's still dry. So keep that in mind when you're out there working. Thank you, and have a safe day.
And now fire behavior.
Good morning, Stephen Vollmer, Fire Behavior Analyst for Incident Management Team 6. So with those dry conditions that we're seeing today, we're going to start seeing those spot fires pop up that got thrown out over the last 2 days wind event. So if you're working in those areas where those wind events occurred up in Division Ida, out in Division Quebec, over by Kirkwood, you're going to expect to see those spot fires start showing up today. The conditions are still dry. The temperatures are still warm. We have very thin inversion over the fire, so we're going to expect to see fire activity early in the morning and throughout the shift. Also, you're going to expect to see those isolated island pockets of green that are still deep interior or right on the edge of the lines start torching out. Those things have been cooking for the last 3 or 4 days, and now they're all dried out. It's only going to take one tree or one bush in there to get the whole island going. So those could be anywhere between just a 100 by 100 foot island or a multiple acre island out there. So just be heads up where those islands are at. And again, the train driven winds are going to be what's forcing the fire spread today. Up in the Strawberry area, those drainages are just notorious for sending the wind in all sorts of directions. So be heads up while you're out there, especially in that Strawberry area, and have a good day.
And now your safety message, safety officer.
Hey there, everybody. Jen Raybuck with your safety team. So a psychology professor walked into his class, and in his hand he was holding a covered tray. He told his students that they'd have 30 seconds to look at the items in his hand. After the allotted time, he covered the tray and set it aside, and he asked the class a single question. No one could answer the question. What he asked them was, what color was the tray? The reason the students failed at the task was because they had a preconceived notion and an expectations going into the situation that were not in alignment with what the task actually was laid out in front of them. They literally couldn't see the tray because they weren't thinking about the tray. They were thinking about the objects on the tray. So let's apply that to this fire today. We've come to expect certain things, our preconceived notions, right? We know there's snags out there. We know that we will see some spotting. We know that it could be long term or long distance. We also know that there's going to be some torching and maybe even some runs out there. And unfortunately, we may expect to see vehicles going a little too fast out there. But I want you to think about the things that we are not expecting to see. Think about the tray as well as the objects out there. Think about things that don't always settle with us. Like, for example, how long and hot those ash beds are continuing to remain on the landscape. Like how much BTU is coming off of the things that are flaming up. How quickly that heat can scorch metal as well as flesh. Think about who was working next to you today and who is working next to you now. Think about all of those things, not just the objects on your tray, but the tray as well today. And don't anticipate one question the fire could ask. Anticipate all questions. Make it a safe shift.
Now with your incident assignments, day operations.
All right, hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Beal Monday. I'm the Operations Section Chief with NEMO Team 2 and representing CAL FIRE Team 6, and we have assumed the rest of the command of the west zone of the Caldor Fire. So we'll do a roll call for all of our line leadership. In Division Alpha, we have Asadas. In Division Alpha Delta, Egan and Foreman. Branch 10 with Mike Wallen. In Division Foxtrot Gulf, there'll be a pen and ink change there. It'll be Division Supervisor Bide with Watkins. In Division Hotel India, it'll be Estabrook and Price. Another pen and ink change in the contingency group in Branch 10, it'll be Klemlich and Hasslinger. And then in the right structure group, we'll have Cole, Pariah. Okay, and then in Branch 20, we'll have Engler. In November, Papa, Lohan, and Ullman. Kirkwood structure, we'll have Miller and Jones. And in Branch 30, we'll have Burrows. All right, thank you all. So I'll give you a quick rundown on what's going to happen today on the west zone of the fire, and then my partner Kyle Jacobson, Operations Section Chief with California Incident Management Team 4, will come up and give you a good overall briefing on today's operational plan on the east zone of the fire. So three main priorities for us on the west side of the fire today. We have Division Delta, trying to get this really secured, also getting all the backhaul taken care of. Up here in Division Foxtrot Gulf, getting this little finger buttoned in, making sure that the highway corridor is still good to go right through here and all the way up into Division at Wrights Lake. That's our other key factor up here. Where Cole was yesterday, that Wrights Lake structure group, multiple structures threatened right now. We've got a good plan. We've got a lot of resources heading up there to make sure that we prevent any fire spread from heading back to the west. Last night, as Tim mentioned, down here at Kirkwood, a lot of good work went into place. We're going to try to fly some pumps in there today. There's some high elevation water, try to get more water flowing and continue to cut that line off across there. Few safety hazards that we need to make sure that we need to pay attention to today. hazard trees on Highway 50. We came across there yesterday. There was probably about a 40-inch tree that came right across the road, took out the guardrail right at the pass. So if you guys are up there and you're driving back and forth, if you see a hazard tree, please make sure you're passing that on to your leadership. We've got falling modules, heavy equipment up there, some feller bunchers to be able to start taking that stuff down. The other thing along the Highway 50 corridor, all of our utility infrastructure friends are coming back in. AT&T was up there putting the fiber optic line back up, so they got boom trucks trying to hang stuff up, trying to get everything ready for repopulation in the future. So please be aware, there's not just fire folks out there, there's all of our cooperators and stakeholders that have a stake in trying to get the residents moved back in along our side of the fire. Air operations is going to be a big thing. We've got, I'll let our air operators talk, but we're going to have one air attack platform. So we're going to, communications is a big thing today. With the 2 zones, working with our working with our partners on both sides of the line, we need to make sure that everybody is on point on where everybody's at. So with that, you guys have a good day, and I'll bring up Kyle to give a rundown on what's happening on the other side.
Good morning. Thanks, Beal. So before we even get started, I want to just talk about the East Zone a little bit. Some of you may not be showing up on the West Zone IAP. We do have IAPs back behind the stage from the East Zone. So if you do need to pick one of those up, go ahead and do that. Also, the East Zone resources will be going to Heavenly tonight. So once again, Heavenly for all of the East Zone resources, so please pack up your stuff and move over to Heavenly. For roll call today, once again, my name is Kyle Jacobson, and we're going to have Brian Newman, who is up at Heavenly, as well as Joe Gonzalez as trainee operations. For Branch 12, we have Pat Lang, and Division Alpha Alpha Long, Division Delta Delta Ablo. Branch 15 is going to be Drew Graham. He is up at Heavenly right now. Mike is going to be Groneman, who is also up there. Quebec. Roy Ball is up there. And we have contingency, Travis Thane. We're going to have structure branch with Jed Gaines. And under Jed, we're going to have cold with Mark Mont, as well as pioneer with Todd Flowers, who's up there. So priorities for today are going to be right here around Trimmer Peak. So they've been able to get a lot of good work. Appreciate all the work in there, going direct to keep the fire out of the Pioneer Apache area. Going to try and continue that, going direct, turn the corner around Trimmer Peak and keep that thing up as high on the hill as possible, and try and keep that direct around the entire other flank. Priority number 2 is going to be in the Caples Lake, Kirkwood area, making sure, as Beal said, that we have really close coordination. That's where the zone break is in all of the activities that are going on down in that area. And our third priority is going to be Christmas Valley, Pioneer Trail, Upper Apache. A lot of great work's been done in there to protect all those structures, to keep fire out of people's houses and minimize any structure impact. We need to make sure we really focus on the work in there today, get that good mop up. We don't want to have any structures burning days after the fire's gone through. So please focus your efforts on that. Really appreciate all the work that's been going on. That's just remain adaptable as the day goes on. There are going to be some changes taking place. You've heard some communication stuff. Be adaptable as we're going through this transition period. If you need anything, let us know. We're here to support you. Have a safe shift.
Air operations.
Good morning, Chance Inwood, Air Operations Branch Director, CAL FIRE Team 6. Some numbers for yesterday. For fixed wing, we were able to deliver 80,000 gallons of retardant. That's including 1 VLAT and 5 LATs. For rotary, we delivered 408,000 gallons of water, timing out most of the aircraft. For night ops yesterday, we were able to deliver 15,000 gallons of retardant, 27,500 gallons of water. The lineup for today for fixed wing is 1 ASM, 1 air attack, and 3 tankers on early up. Rotary wing, 27 copters, 2 helibases, and 2 MRBs. Like day ops mentioned, I want to just reiterate, today is a transition day, so make sure we are on the correct air-ground command and correct air-ground tactical for your zone. And make sure we're clearing the line out there. Be safe. End of report.
Up next, medical.
Good morning, Joel Davis, Medical Unit Leader with CAL FIRE Team 6. Today, to support you guys on the line, we have 3 teams of line medics. We do have 6 ambulances, and we have 1 24-hour ALS hoist ship available. Here in camp, we have CalMat as well as MERT. We are doing COVID mitigation. Just as a reminder, please wear your mask here in camp. Lastly, if you can turn to page 33 of your IAP, box 6. If you do have a fire line emergency today, the 3 things that we need from you is the nature of the injury, the location, and the point of contact. If you get us that, we'll be able to help you. Have a good, safe shift.
Communications.
Good morning, Bernie Rapp, Communications Unit Leader, Incident Management Team 6. Today, your 205s for the West Zone will be on page 34 for branch 1 and 30, page 35 for branch 10 and 20. That'll be for the West Zones. And then for the East Zone, page 36 for branch 12 and 15. And then we have page 37 is the ENF AEU IA group, and that'll be used in the event of a new start within the fire area, and we need to send resources. As of 0700 hours, we've changed our communications identifier. For the West Zone, you'll be West Caldor Communications on the existing command system that we've had in place. For the East, you'll be East Caldor Communications, and that'll be on the TMU admin command. Please understand that as you're traveling from base camp here and into the basin, you cannot get on the admin command until you get about the Echo Summit area. If you need anything on the way on the travel through, you can go through West Communications. Please note the bottom of the 205 for the East Zone, they have their phone number for their communications. The current clone for today is Guard 2. There's been a change since the clone yesterday. So to validate that you have the current clone, you need to get cloned today. Please bear with us, the lines are long, but there's a lot of resources that need to get the radios programmed. And to make sure that you're safe, please get out there or get in there and get your radio cloned. We're still cloning out of the concession stand from 0600 hours till 0900 or until all the line is gone. And then we're moving over into the repair tents behind weather and operations trailer. We continue to have the 7-channel command system. Please take a look at your area, look at your maps to see what command is going to work best for you. You may have to change channels to get into the system depending on where you're at as you move around the fire. Tactical assignments for today are as follows. For the East, Division Alpha Alpha, Quebec Quebec, NIFC TAC 1. Division Delta Delta, NIFC TAC 6. Christmas Structure Group and Division Mike Mike, NIFC TAC 3. Angora Structure Group, NIFC TAC 7. Pioneer Structure Group, V-Fire 24. Cold Structure Group, V-Fire 25. For the West, Division Foxtrot, Golf, CDF TAC 26. Division Hotel India, CDF TAC 27. Division for the Wrights Lake Structure Group, CDF TAC 28. Division November Papa, CDF TAC 29. Kirkwood Structure Group, CDF TAC 30. Division Alpha Delta, VTAC 11. Division Romeo Tango Union Whiskey, VTAC 13. And as we stated in the last few briefings, and as always, CalCord and Guard is for emergency use only. No fire tactic traffic on that, please. You guys have a good shift.
Up next, logistics.
Good morning, Jason Warden, IMT6 Logistics. Your ground support message is on page 39. There is one change to a fueling location. Fuel has moved from the Indian Digging School to the Peddler Hill Spike. There is no gas except for at the Dawson's Oil, so you need to fill up before you leave. The feeding line opens at 5 a.m., so please get in early to avoid the long lines. Base camp is pretty congested. Please follow the one-way traffic plan to stop traffic congestion. Have a good day.
Up next, training.
Good morning, Jim Rustis, Training Specialist, Incident Management Team 6. We have a lot of trainees out here that still need to check in, so trainers, check with their trainees, make sure they're checked in, make sure they're working on their task book, and remember, you don't have to wait till demob to go close out with training. You can come see us anytime. And if you want more information, page 40 IAP has our info and our phone number. Thank you.
Up next, a message from Federal Check-In.
Good morning, Billy Phillips, Team 2, Team 6, Planning Section Chief Trainee. Once again, we've been up here the past couple days talking about federal check-in for federal resources and federal contractors. You can access that check-in form on the QR code on the front of your IAP. A quick message for all those who are checking in who have not checked in using that QR code. Make sure in remarks you put in West Zone or East Zone depending on who you are assigned to. That will help us be able to determine where we need to put you on the IAP. Thank you very much.
And now finance.
Sean Hoogan, Finance Section Chief. On pages 43 and 44, it's detailed finance messages for all federal resources, and that is for both zones. Most of that's going to be virtual, as well as some of that could be dropped off, and you can read the message about that. And specifically, if you have not turned in any of your information, specifically the Viper or any of the federal personnel, please do that as soon as possible. And on the shift tickets, make sure to put all the request numbers for division groups or branches or groups so that those can go to the right person. And lastly, if local government resources, if you've not checked in with OES, there is an OES vehicle here next to the Chow Hall, next to plans, as well as at the East Zone base. Thank you.
Liaison.
Good morning, Mitch Villalpando, Liaison Team 6. So if you turn to page 48 in your IEPs, Employee Support Services, they're here for you. Jill and Jeremy do a fantastic job. It's a long haul. Stop by and see them. They're waiting for you. Also, we will have a 10 o'clock unified cooperators meeting. This will be via Zoom and also in person here at the building to my left over here. And we appreciate the cooperators coming in. Look, it's a team effort, one team, one fight. So we appreciate your help in there. And then last, of course, our four-legged friends. Get out there and pet them. They do good work. Thanks.
Information.
Good morning, Carrie Green, Public Information Officer with NEMO Team 2, working in conjunction with CAL FIRE Team 6 and also California Interagency Incident Management Team 4. I want to bring your attention to page 51 in the IAP. On that page, you can find anything you need to know about the public-facing information for this incident. We have an incident information line that is staffed from 8 to 8. We also have a media line. I do want you to take note that the phone number for the media line has changed. It is now 530-497-0315. That number again, 530-497-0315 for those of you watching. The media has taken quite a bit of interest in this incident, as you know. Please remember, on the California side, we have the 409.5 media access law. They are allowed to be in there as long as they are not blocking your access or impinging on your safety. If that becomes a problem, please go through your supervisor and contact communications. Let us know. We can either get a PIO out there or law enforcement if necessary. They have been put on notice. They do know not to get in your way while you're doing your work and to keep firefighters safe. Finally, the QR code there at the top of the page, if you scan that, it brings you to a page of links. That is all the official sources of information for this fire. It's updated throughout the day as new information comes in, and so that is the best source of information, the official information, and of course we are sharing that for both zones. We're working together with the team of PIOs over there, and any additional official links will also be added there. Lost and Found is at the PIO trailer as well as incoming mail. Thank you.
And now, before we go to closing comments, I got a few announcements. Our expectation and your obligation is to attend your breakouts, which are located behind you within the briefing area. For the East Zone resources, it's going to be over to my right, your left. Unassigned resources, meet with the resource unit leader by the entrance here. Cooperators meeting is at 10, planning meeting at 1800, operational briefing at 7 tomorrow morning. And now closing comments, Incident Commander.
Good morning. We're going to do things a little bit different. What we wanted to do is I want to introduce Dean Gould. He's the forest supervisor on the Sierra National Forest, and he will be our agency administrator for a few days. Here, Dean.
Good morning. So Dean Gould, Forest Soup on the Sierra. I'm just going to be filling in for Jeff. As Joe mentioned, just for a few days. looking around here, already see a huge number of familiar faces. Just getting here yesterday already. My point in bringing that up is this is a pretty small community when all's said and done. And we've all heard of the phrase, you know, one team, one fight. But that's not a catchphrase. That really is a mindset. And everything I've heard and seen about how that's being put to practice here on this incident, you really are taking it to heart. And that makes a difference. It makes a significant difference, because when you choose a profession that you've chosen and you go to incidents like this, any given day, you never know that person, that module to your left or your right, they may very well either keep you out of harm's way, they may very well save your life. And so as arduous as this profession is that you've chosen, there's a lot of benefits too. No relationships are going to be any stronger or deeper than when you go into harm's way and you have those people to your left or your right and you come out of it together. Those are the relationships that'll last a lifetime. And if there's anything, like I say, more deeper or more meaningful than that, I'm not sure what it is. So as hard of work as this is, treasure the time you have with each other and also look out for each other. Have a safe day.
Thank you, Dean. Again, my name is Joe Reiners. I'm with NEMO 2, and it's my great pleasure to stand up here and talk in front of you folks and talk to you about what we're doing today, because representing CAL FIRE 6, NEMO 2, and California Team 4 is a great honor. And we're in here to do that one fight that Dean was talking about. We want to make sure that this is, that you know who you're working for, and then also that we are working together as one. It's kind of it's somewhat historic. It can cause some problems, but the outcome is going to be long lasting, I think. What we need to do is make sure that we're communicating with those people beside us. You may not know them, you may never worked with them before, but when you're coming out the other end, you can say you do know them and you have worked with them before. So keep that in mind as you're going through the day. We have a couple changes. One change is the command organizational change. That's always a red flag. Watch out for it. Make sure you know who you're working for and who you're working with. Some things haven't changed. One thing that hasn't changed is the terrain or the fuels conditions out there. Wind's gone down, but those fuel conditions and the terrain has not changed. So keep those in mind when you're going through the day. And the other thing is, if you look at the objectives in your IAP, and if you look, there's going to be a separate IAP for the East Zone, but those are the same objectives, the same intent across the board. So we all ought to be working off the same page. So the last thing I'll leave with, we need to keep in mind, we talked about it, the safety talked about it. Look at those objects on the tray. Definitely do that. But don't let that tray whack you upside the head. So make sure you pay attention to the tray. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our briefing. Thanks for attending.